Okay, you guys ready?
Yes, ma'am. Sir.
All right, we'll call the meeting of the Mayor and Town Council to order, and we'll start with the opening prayer. We'll have Chaplain Bill from the Police Department do the prayer.
Heavenly Father, we come to you with heavy hearts tonight. With all that's been going on in this nation with the weather and the hurricanes and the barrier islands, the loss of life is catastrophic. And the monetary portion of that is out of sight. No one can have it. So we come to you and we ask in prayer for your safety for the first responders, both physically and mentally, as they go through their duties. We pray for the victims, that they can feel your presence, and for all that are involved as responders and returning homeowners, give them the peace that they need to get through this. Amen.
Amen. Pledge. Pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Tammi, when you're ready, roll.
Mayor Nevin.
Here.
Councilwoman Duff. Here. Councilman Renahan.
Here.
Councilman Roark.
Here.
Councilman Thomas.
Here.
Councilman Unglesbee.
Here.
All present and accounted for. So, minute approvals from August 8th.
So moved. Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Thank you. Tammi, back to you for the town manager and Main Street update report.
Okay, the update on the downtown revitalization project. Town staff attended the second partnering meeting last month, and as I'd said before, we'll have a meeting once a month. There was one minor incident in the project so far. The engineered plans called for the lamppost and the landscaping in front of Ileana Plaza 1 to be removed and replaced with the new town lighting at the completion of that phase of the project. The lampposts were not supposed to be removed until March, so there was a time difference. The lampposts were being removed in August to make way for the installation of the BG&E gas line. So obviously a business's parking lot cannot be left in the dark for that amount of time. Christie was able to get BG&E to install temporary lighting on the utility poles until the new lamppost can be placed. There was also a water leak that was detected in our new water pipe in front of 918 South Main Street. Mid-Atlantic addressed the situation and repaired it yesterday, and the repair work was covered under warranty. CJ Miller also submitted a request to the state to change the stormwater pipes from reinforced concrete to polypropylene pipes. After meeting with State Highway and CJ Miller and Carroll County's stormwater engineer and the company selling this material, the town completed additional research. We found pros and cons of using polypropylene pipes, with the main con, though, being that this piping has only been available for 8 years. So ultimately, the town decided to convey to State Highway that we were concerned to use a new material that has only been available for such a short period of time. So today, I received a copy of the letter that was sent to CJ Miller, and SHA said they found their proposal to be misaligned with the goals of all the associated parties, meaning the town, State Highway. So State Highway will not consider this change proposal for inclusion into this contract. So the stormwater pipes will be reinforced concrete. We had a Main Street Marketing Committee meeting last month on the 15th, and our State Highway liaison, Lindsay Franny, attended. We discussed how to disseminate information to the residents and businesses. Sharon Callahan distributed State Highway flyers to some of the businesses so their customers could obtain the website to remain informed of any project updates. I placed door hangers on Main Street residents' doors with the same information, since some of these houses are rentals and all mailing correspondence goes to the landlord. State Highway will also be working with the Hampstead Merchants Association to have a hard hat meeting where a group of businesses will go on a walking tour on Main Street to discuss our streetscape. Northside Estates Most of the sewer system has been completed, but the water line needs to be installed before they can install the remainder of some sewer laterals. The water line installation began Friday, September 8th. This should be completed by the end of this week, weather permitting. And the next step is curb installation. The developer is planning to have the roads paved by the end of the month. If anybody's been down Gill and Shiloh, you can see that the CSX crossing upgrades are completed and they are fully operational. The fire hydrant on Gill Avenue near the crossing signal had to be removed and will be relocated somewhere on Gill Avenue. We've had several meetings with Florida Rock Properties. There are a few matters that need to be addressed before they will be ready to present a concept plan to the Planning and Zoning Commission. Town staff has, as I said, several meetings, phone conversations discussing different matters. They plan to speak with the Planning and Zoning Commission again this month. Also had a meeting with BTR Property. Town staff, myself and Kevin, and county staff met with Michael Clark about the future development of the BTR property. I've already spoken to a business interested in 3 of the front 6 acres, so I'll keep you posted to see how that's moving along. Also met with a representative of Iliano's Properties to discuss possible development of the parcel between Iliano's Plaza 1 and Iliano Plaza 2.
What are they thinking?
We might have to clean up the zoning. So what he wanted to do doesn't fit the zoning of the property. So we still have to discuss.
All right.
In the finance department, Cheryl had been preparing for the workman's comp audit that occurred today on site at Town Hall. Based on the results of this audit, we could either receive a refund or an invoice for an additional premium. Cheryl's continuing to work with Lindsay and Associates on the general audit for FY 2017. They have until October 31st to complete their audit and submit the financial statements. All financial statements are made available to the mayor and council, the general public via our website and respective agencies. The Fall Fest is coming up again. So the Fall Fest is Saturday, October 7th from 10 to 5. They decided to just have a one-day event this year. And it's again at the Hampstead Volunteer Fire Company's Carnival Grounds. The town, State Highway, and C.J. Miller will share a space so we can speak with the public about our streetscape together. And just let me know if anybody would like to spend any time helping in our tent. And we have a new tent, a big tent that says Town of Hampstead. So the 2020 census, the U.S. Census Bureau is gearing up for the 2020 census. They are beginning with the local update of census addresses operation. So the Carroll County Department of Planning is going to report on our behalf with the data compilation and mapping the Census Bureau requires for this step of the process.
Questions for Tammy? All right. Oversights, Marlene?
Okay. Well, we just can't believe that there's only 3 weeks left in the market season for this year, but it's been a very good one. Total attendance so far is 19,243 for an average of 1,375. The weekly average decreased a little because only 600 folks came out during Labor Day, Saturday, when Hurricane Harvey was dumping all the rain on us. We believe that the main reason for the increased attendance this year is the different advertising methods that we've employed. We distributed market door hangers throughout town prior to opening day. We've bought print ads. We have paid to boost Facebook posts, and we have sent out email blasts to our website subscribers twice a month. So I think these efforts have really paid off. We're seeing new faces at the market in addition to old familiar faces, and we're going to continue these efforts for next season. Closing day is Saturday, September 30th. We're having magician Dave Toman again with us, and still working on getting a face painter for the children. The market and 2 of our farmer families will be featured in a library program at the North Carroll branch on Tuesday, November the 7th at 7 p.m. The program is described in the autumn issue of Currents on page 24, and it's innovations in agriculture. So we're really excited about that. 2 of our families will be discussing how they got into farming and what they do. Christmas market dates will be Friday, December the 1st from 4 to 8 p.m. and Saturday, December the 2nd from 10 to 3. We've been working with St. John's Church next to the War Memorial Park as the new venue for the Christmas market, and I imagine Councilman Thomas may want to address this in his report. Our Advisory team will have one last post-season meeting on Monday, October the 2nd. We will do a final review of this year's season, discuss the Christmas market plans, and then start working on 2018. And that's it.
Well done.
Thank you.
You given an award for the 20th thousands customer?
You know, I don't know. If we stay on track, we'll hit like a little over 23. So I don't know if we'll do that for 23 or just wait for next year. We haven't really talked about it. I guess we should, but I kind of forgot.
Got that clicker going.
Yeah.
Too many clicks.
Wayne, you're up.
The Hampstead Train Station Committee, Music in the Park, obviously the September 2nd was rained out. We had a pretty good turnout this year for the 3 events we did have. I'm very thankful for the businesses that supported us. We have them all listed out on our website. Resch, Dentistry, special thanks to Hampstead Pre-Owned. They gave us a big donation. Iliano's, of course. Just a lot of different businesses on Main Street donated. Some of the ones I was expecting to donate, however, did not. So we're hoping that they'll step up. We are planning to do it next year. So in fact, we've already booked 2 bands for next year. So we're ready.
So when are
Has-
you rescheduling the one, are you rescheduling the one that was canceled?
No. We tried to get a band for the following Saturday and could not. The band that was supposed to play could not play the following Saturday. We tried to get another band in there and just could not. And now it gets really dark at 8 o'clock. So we decided that we'd just treat that when it's rained out and hope for better weather next year. But we were fortunate, the 3 Saturdays we had were absolutely beautiful weather. The Hampstead Train Station, as Marlene mentioned, is going to be presenting a Christmas farmers market. We're happy to work with the farmers market again this year. It's been a lot of fun. It's going to be at St. John's Church. We like it because it's on the same side of the street. Be less issues because we have the road blocked off anyway. Be less issues for people to get to the event. We think it'll draw a lot of people to Main Street, and that was the goal of having this, is try to get people down on Main Street. Hopefully some of the businesses decide to stay open late on that night and get some additional business. So we're looking forward to that. The train station was a receipt of a train set, an O gauge, from Dave Cecil. So thanks to Dave for donating to us. It's not only just the set, but he also had multiple different buildings made. It filled up the back of the Forerunner, so it was a lot of stuff given to us. So we're very thankful for that. Our next flea market is going to be on the 23rd of this month, our last one for this year. It's been well attended this year. We've had a lot of good vendors. It's turned out real well, so it's getting more popular every year. That's all in the train station. Tree Commission, with the help of Nick and Associates and the fine financing from the town of Hampstead for the transportation, we were able to get 396 trees for free from the Pretty Boy Watershed Alliance. So that's nothing to sneeze at. Nick also informed me today that there's a possibility for me to get an additional 2,000 trees if I want them. So I'm looking for places to plant.
What kind of trees?
These are red oaks, white oaks, and a myriad of other ones. We had put in a bid for 250 trees, and we only got 60 of the ones we bid on. And then when I was making arrangements to pick up the 60 trees, the guy says, "Oh, well, I've got an additional 300 and some trees I'll be happy to give you." So he gave us another 336 trees.
How large are these?
They're seedlings, so they're only about this big. They're over at the Hentz facility. They're going to maintain them until we get them into the ground, and hopefully it'll be the planting in North Carroll Farms for this fall. So we're hoping to get the paperwork filled out, completed and ready so that we can, by the end of this month, so we can arrange for planting in October. So that's where a majority of them are going to go. I don't know if we can use all 396, but we're going to try. As I mentioned, the fall planting, we're hopefully that'll be in October. We have recommendations for the replacement evergreens at Memorial Park. We're going to have a meeting later this month. We'll send a formal letter from the Tree Commission to the town telling you what trees we think you ought to plant there. We can probably get them in the ground in time enough for the Christmas lighting celebration. And then the Tree Commission meetings are going to start back up this month. We took a little hiatus over the summer, but we're gonna start it back up. That's all I have. Any questions? Thank you.
Good. Jim?
Okay, Planning and Zoning Commission of Hampstead met on Wednesday, August 23rd, 2017. First up was the possible adoption of a resolution to recommend to the Town Council the adoption of an amendment to the 2010 Comprehensive Plan to expand the town's potential growth area. Chris Jakubiak of Jakubiak and Associates presented us with the final draft of the amendment. All the minor errors and calculations have been corrected, and everyone on the commission felt it was appropriate at this time to recommend the amendment to council for approval. Quick overview of the resolution, and it's all in here. It's 5 areas designated for growth, which are the Patmos property, the Offner property, and the Trenton Mills Farm property, which are all located at the south end of town, right around the southern circle. The Elwood property, which is located on the west side of town, between the bypass and Panther Drive, and the Power Brothers property on the northeast side of town. It's located at the end of Hillcrest Avenue. It will be an addition of 341 acres to our growth plan in total. Now, this is just a plan to possibly add these properties to our town in the future, nothing set in stone. But at this time, we also had to give zoning classifications to these areas. Most of the lands will be zoned R10,000 with a small mix of general business and restricted industrial within the southern properties. There's also areas designated for conservation within the Power Brothers and Patmos properties. Also, since this is simply a plan to make areas eligible for annexation and development at this time, sewage capacity would not meet potential planned capacity if all areas were fully developed immediately. Well, that's not going to happen. So additional infrastructure, sewage infrastructure will be required, and all parties involved are aware of it. Future water requirements, however, can be met by what's on the books as our future capacity. Next up was a presentation by the Florida Rock Properties, meeting with us to give us an early look at their plans for the Houcksville Road development. As Tammi already said, there's several small issues, mainly dealing with code, that need to be ironed out before they will present a concept plan. It was a good discussion. Talked a little about access to the development. Both sides discussed the issues and listened very well and decided they're going to come back next month and we'll meet again and talk it out. I can tell you, looking at the initial drawings of the property, it's going to be a first-class facility. A lot of green space, a lot of walking trails. It'll be a nice addition to the town. Then last item on the agenda was a new business request and sign request from Allison St. Clair to open Alley's Imports and Herbals. It will be located at 1154 South Main Street, which is across Main Street from the Jiffy Mart next to Murray's Title Company. She's looking to open a small shop selling natural herbs, oils, and knickknacks. The business and the sign were approved. They met the code, and that's all I have.
Thank you.
Yep.
Joe?
Yep, I'm good for parks.
All right. Dave?
Okay, water concern. August 2017, average water usage was 358,000 gallons per day. September 2017, average water usage so far has been 367,000 gallons per day. Rainfall total for August 2017 was 4.2. Rainfall total so far for September 2017 is 1.6. There's one other quick thing they wanted me to announce. We're going to be having hydrant flushing, which will be on Wednesday, October 4th, 2017, starting at 9 p.m. So basically, the Department of Public Works will be flushing fire hydrants and the such. It might cause some discoloration during the flushing hours. Nothing to worry about. Please run a little tap water until it's clear. And they said you might want to not do laundry or those kind of things, but there's nothing to be concerned about because the water is treated, but it might have slight discoloration.
Thank you very much. And standing in for the chief, who's at the Chiefs Conference, we have Lieutenant Stacy Gagler on the police report.
Traffic safety, Hampstead officers issued 125 citations and warnings for the month of August. There were 10 collisions, 2 occurred on the bypass circle at 482, 6 were on Main Street, 1 was on a side street, and 1 was in a parking lot. Community involvement, our officers made 164 property checks at businesses, schools, and government facilities. Serious crime during the month of August, officers investigated 2 burglaries. One was a residential burglary, one was a business burglary, 4 thefts, and 5 thefts from autos. We made 6 arrests in August, 5 adults and 1 juvenile. Charges included DUI, possession of CDS with intent to distribute. Thefts were 2 arrests, and violation of a peace order was another. Community policing, the Hampstead Police Department would like to thank the Council, Public Works, the Town of Hampstead staff, and the Hampstead Volunteer Fire Department, and the community for supporting this year's National Night Out. Officers conducted traffic enforcement in Roberts Field and in North Carroll Farms, where we recently received traffic complaints. Schools have started, so please be aware of our children and the school buses traveling on the roadways, especially in the construction areas, and make sure you stop for school buses both directions when the signals are flashing. Hampstead again has experienced multiple thefts from autos. To avoid being a victim, we simply ask you to lock your cars. Planning and preparation is now underway for this year's annual Shop with a Cop program. A silent auction will be held Friday, December 1st from 4 until 8 during the Farmers Market Christmas Market, and then the actual shopping day will be December 9th at Walmart. Hampstead is looking forward to another successful year with Shop with a Cop.
Thanks. Questions for Stacy? My comments, it's hard to believe we're into September already, but the Hampstead Volunteer Fire Company had their carnival and their parade last month in August, at the end of the month, and it was, I thought, really well done. They moved the parade back, as I understand it, to the traditional day, which is Wednesday evening, which drives attendance on that day. I got to ride in the parade. It was a great event. Lots of people on the sidewalks. It's just amazing. I go out there and do it one night, help out at one of the stands, and my back's feeling it the next day, but those folks are out there for 6 days doing that. It's just a lot of time and energy devoted to that, and they should be thanked for the effort they put into it. We have an MML dinner, I think Thursday night. I think most everybody up there, other than me, is going to be there. I've got a conflict with work, so I'm sure you'll carry on just fine up in Tawnytown. Update on Hampstead and being one of the safest places to live in Hampstead. Some of the rankings came in. One group, SafeWise, has us at number 9 when they count towns of 3,000 plus. Another group, National Council for Home Safety and Security, has us at number 5 because they only count populations of 5,000 and more. I would say that property crime and theft are they're 30% of that category. And that, for all intents and purposes in Hampstead, that is a preventable crime. Because whenever somebody, usually in one of the subdivisions, walks down the road, they're just going in to unlock cars and stealing stuff. And it just doesn't present, it's a crime of opportunity, quite frankly, that doesn't need to be there. If we just lock the doors, put the garage doors down at the end of the night and lock the house door, I think, we'll be that much more safer and that much less of a target for some of these nuisance crimes that we incur. So don't make yourself an easy target. I know, former Chief Meekins used to say it every month, just lock your doors. And that was driven home by looking at some of those stats that came across from the different towns which we could get compared against. So that's my comments. I don't think there's any unfinished business. So we have a bid award. Excuse me. Every year we go about paving and patching various town roads. We get some of the money from the highway user funds from the state, which they're trying to bring back a little bit. We're up to about $170,000. Back in the good old days, we were getting over $300,000. So we close that gap with town funding every year to the tune of about 100 and change. But we had 3 bids. The lowest bid would appear to be White Pine Paving at $112,245. Do I have a motion?
So moved. Second.
Any discussion of the bids? Tammy, anything to add?
No, they have done a lot of work for us, and they do an excellent job.
And they're local on top of that. They're all pretty much local, all 3 companies that bid. So motion and second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? I don't think there's any other new business. And then basically, the last thing we have is what Jim was talking about, was the introduction of Resolution 2017-02, which is a resolution to adopt an amendment to the 2010 Community Comprehensive Plan for the town of Hampstead. One thing, we got Chris here, and we'll let Chris do a little comment, but one thing I'll add is, from what I remember, because several of us are around from 2010, thank you, Stacy, was that we shrunk some of the town boundary back in 2010. For what reason, I cannot remember. This plan, other than what we're adding at the very southern end of town, basically puts it back to what it was. Times have changed, the economy's changed, and people are certainly knocking on our door and talking to us about what the town will support as far as future development. And I'll just stress, I mean, it's a 10-year plan for the most part. It'll take years for these subdivisions to come online and to get fully built out, but it gives people an idea of where and how we'll grow. And I've also been impressed with the quality of people that have come to us talking about wanting to invest in Hampstead. These aren't, pickup truck guys. These are well-heeled, well-financed people who have a very long track record of developing in the Baltimore metropolitan area. So, Chris, if you want to give us a quick update, I'd appreciate it.
Sure. And Councilman Roark gave an excellent summary of what the Planning Commission did in this document. Tammi asked me to be here if you had any questions, so that's my primary purpose of being here. But I will just suggest to the council that this is a very responsible thing to do. It's better to do it ahead of time, maybe even a decade ahead of time, than to respond on a case-by-case basis, which gets very clumsy and you often miss things. So the Planning Commission went through a deliberate process to think about these properties in the context of the future and the future needs, and that's the way you do it. The other reason this is a good policy is that the development pressure is here anyway, and should development take place so close to your town, you want to be able to have some influence on the outcome, control its look, and make it feel like it belongs in Hampstead. And this allows you to do that because it makes those parcels eligible for annexation. So in the future, when you make an annexation decision, you'll have these maps to refer to guide you.
You guys have any questions to what Jim said or Chris just added or what I had?
I'm good.
And
Anybody
I just want to add that the county is now working on the individual towns' water and sewer allocation. They've already met with us, their master plan for water and sewer allocation, getting ready for the 2020 comprehensive plan updates. So it's a great first start.
Good. So a motion for introduction?
Make a motion to introduce the resolution 2017-02.
Second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Thank you. So this will go where next? This is an introduction.
This is introduction, then next month we'll have a public hearing and a vote.
All right. Perfect. One thing before we get on the public comments, almost forgot. There's an opening on the Board of Zoning Appeals. Gotten a few applications. Been impressed with the quality of people I'm seeing. And I'm going to recommend for next month Michael Josic, who lives up in the new section of Oakmont, what do we call that, Oakmont Overlook. He's a lawyer, a brand new lawyer, and he's obviously a new resident of the town. He wanted to get involved. I met with him. I was impressed. I'll send you his email and his contact info if you want to reach out to him between now and next month, but I put his name forward to fill that position. Public comment. Got a few folks here. Nothing? All right, going once, twice. Motion to adjourn.
So moved.
God bless you all.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Thanks. Hey, Clint, can you do me a favor and turn that light on out there if it's not? Thanks.